Hello, everyone. Welcome to our program today. My name is Lauren, and I'm the program coordinator of the Veterans Resource Center at Skyline College. Skyline College is part of the San Mateo County Community College District and San Francisco Bay Area, which is made up of 3 colleges: Skyline College, College of San Mateo, and Cañada College. Each college has a veteran center and a coordinator, and we all work together to help connect students, faculty, and staff with resources and services for veterans and military-connected individuals. We have the wonderful pleasure of working alongside the Calvet team for a while now, and we're really quite excited for the webinar that it's being presented today. Skyline College also works very closely with SFVA, and I have my colleagues here, Kathleen and Bridget, to introduce themselves.
Hi, thanks, Lauren. We really wanted to welcome everyone to the webinar. My name is Kathleen Mink, and I'm joined by my colleague, Bridget Leach. We're both part of the San Francisco VA Student Veteran Health Program. Our program helps with enrollment into VA healthcare, as well as navigating the system. We put our contact information at the end of the slide deck, so if anyone has any questions about VA healthcare, please feel free to reach out to us. And with that, I'll turn it over to the Calvet team. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you, Kathleen. Welcome everybody to today's webinar on Veterans Readiness and Employment. Today is March 22nd, 2023. My name is Michael Cisneros. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of introduce or give you guys a welcome to today's event. As Kathleen said, we are going to have a questions and answers session at the end of this event with our contact information available. So if you do have any questions that maybe we didn't get around to today, or come up after the event's done, feel free to reach out to anybody that's on that list. You're going to hear from Ashley Paganelli first. She is a VR&E counselor. She's going to talk to you a little bit about the program. After that session is done, we'll go into a little bit about California benefits and talking about what CalTAP does to assist veterans also around the state. Once we conclude with that, we will have our questions and answers session where your questions will be answered. We are disabling the chat. That is because my colleague is going to be filling it with resources throughout the event. And so you'll be able to download a copy of your Veterans Resource Book. You'll also be able to download a copy of your link map, which I'll explain what that is at the end. So if you do have questions throughout the presentations, we ask that you use that Q&A feature on Zoom. With that, we will be able to answer those either in real time or hold them off until the end of the session where we can tackle them together. So I'll go ahead and now move on to the first presentation with Ashley. She's going to talk to you a little bit about the VR&E program. So Ashley, when you're ready, feel free to begin.
There we go. Unmute. Okay. It's actually April. I've been called Amy before, but never Ashley. But I love the name. Okay. Moving on. So welcome to Veterans. This is actually Veteran Readiness and Employment. We're going to discuss some things before we even begin, which is that if you have a service-connected disability, that's 10% or more, you can apply for what's called Veteran Readiness and Employment. So there's a huge difference here between Chapter 33, which is the post 9/11, and VR&E, which used to be called Voc Rehab. So every once in a while I call it Voc Rehab, but it's really Veteran Readiness and Employment. The two things you want to keep in mind is that for Chapter 33, you can pretty much do anything you want. We understand that there's not a lot of restrictions on that one. So if you want to go to school and be an actress, hey, go for it. We don't encourage that, only because, and I'll get to that in a minute. The difference is that they don't have you fill out any paperwork really, or like it's not, really required. Whereas with VR&E, which is a back to work program, we do require those things. We require absolutely that you're not here just to get education. That is a big misunderstanding. You can get education, but it's to find employment. And so I usually see some veterans that come to us after using their Chapter 33, and they don't really have anything that's going to go towards anything. And that's because I think you don't have a lot of direction there. It's like, I want to be an actress. Great. Go to Los Angeles. You'll have a better chance. What we want for you is stable employment. So, the things that don't come with stable employment, probably we're not going to encourage, but I'll get into that in a minute. Let's go ahead and read the screen. The Oakland VR&E division is currently serving more than 4,600 veterans with professional staff. We got more VRCs. They're coming to us. We do have them in Oakland, Sacramento, which is the satellite, and Fresno. And so the one in Sacramento is a satellite, Fresno, Monterey. I'm not sure if there's somebody still there, but don't worry, we'll get you a voc rehab. And at Travis Air Force for sure, we have the IDES, and that's Mary Jane. In Stockton, we have now 2 VRCs. If you'll move the screen, please. Next one. There we go. So VR&E program intent was to provide services to assist veterans and service members with service-connected disabilities to succeed. So in transition through services to support transition back to civilian life, at work through services resulting in suitable employment. Suitable employment is the operative word there. Suitable employment means that it's something you can do with your service-connected disabilities. On campus through services to support them during education and training. At home. So here in the Northern California, I am the VSOC, which is the Veteran Success on Campus Counselor. I am located at American River, and y'all got my phone number, so you can reach me that way or through my email. At home and in their communities through services to maximize independence in daily living. We'll cover that one a little bit further later. Next screen. Okay, VR&E eligibility criteria. So eligible is completely different than entitled. Eligible, you have to have an honorable or other than honorable discharge, but it's other than honorable, not dishonorable. A VA service-connected disability rating of 10% or more, or a memorandum rating of 20% or more. That's for somebody who's getting out. That's the IDES counselor. Someone who's getting out of the military, you would get a memorandum rating of 20% or more. Apply for veteran readiness and employment benefits. That's going to be at the va.gov. You're going to go under veteran readiness and employment and apply there. For active duty service members, it's expect to receive an honorable discharge, obtain a VA memorandum rating of 20% or more, obtain a proposed disability evaluation service. That's the IDES rating. Service members awaiting discharge due to medical conditions resulting from a serious injury or illness that occurred in the line of duty may be automatically entitled to VR&E benefits under the National Defense Authorization Act of 2008. Apply for veteran readiness and employment benefits. Next screen, please. So the maximum of 48 months of entitlement may be utilized within 12 years of the date. So that's kind of null and void now because most of the people who effective January 5th, 2021, a 12-year eligibility period does not apply to claimants who were discharged or released from active military service on or after January 1st, 2013. That's your separation date. So, or a date when the veteran was first notified of a service-connected disability rating. So it used to be that we did the 12 years, but it depends. Here, it's if that has expired, then there's paperwork we need to fill out. Exceptions for veterans with serious employment handicaps. A serious employment handicap, we have to first talk about what an employment handicap is. An employment handicap is a great example would be, let's say when you were in the military, you were doing something and you hurt your back and your knees. And now you come to me and you say, I have more than 10%. I've applied. Now you're meeting with a counselor, one of us, and you say, hey, I have a bad back and bad knees, but you know what I really want to be? A nurse. And I go, no, because we can't have you doing something that's going to further exacerbate your service-connected disabilities, right? And it also depends on the job you're doing. If you're doing a job that is physically harming you, then you would need training or an education in order to fulfill that. The other thing here is a serious employment handicap. I kind of shock people with this one, but it's usually if you have something like a dependency on government services, unemployment for many, many years, not just you've been employed for a year or two. It's usually like chronic, or you have like one job, and you get fired from said job, and then for the next 15 years you don't have a job. So a serious employment handicap is also dependence on alcohol, or you're now going through a 12-step program. We can work with you on that, but that's what a serious employment handicap is. It's not just I haven't been employed for a year or two. So it's a little bit more serious than that. Your counselor will be able to go over that more in detail with you. Next screen, please. Okay, so the VR&E process, the application, it used to be that we could see people, fairly close to after application. Unfortunately, now, if you live in Des Moines, Iowa, it's probably going to take you a lot less time to get in than if you live in California. We're inundated, just like Los Angeles and and San Diego, the ROs. We have a lot more people. So per counselor, we have at least 125 people per counselor. And that number fluctuates as we gain and lose people, retirement, people leave employment. And we have been hiring, but it is going to take probably after you apply at least 2 months. That's my understanding, to actually see the counselor. What holds us up most of the time is we send you paperwork to fill out, and for some reason the paper just doesn't get filled out. So that kind of takes a toll too on, you could be seen a lot sooner, maybe if the paperwork is turned in, but it really depends on how many people we're seeing and how often we're seeing them. And right now, I believe we're seeing people weekly, which is a change from us. So that's improving. So when the VRC meets with you, they conduct the orientation to include the 5 tracks, conduct vocational evaluation to assess skills, abilities, and interests. So we know if I say, hey, you want to go and be an architect, and you're like, I hate architecture and I hate math. Well, we know that when your interests really do matter, because we know that the more you like it, the more you're going to be successful in it. Abilities also plays a role. Like if you're not really good at math, probably don't want to be a mathematician, things like that. Determine employment handicap. So, or whether or not you have a serious handicap. Remember, you need the 10% in order to apply, at least a 10%, I'm sorry, in order to apply. And then eligibility is what they determine. Determination of feasibility for employment. That is, can you work? So we don't usually support people who come to us and say, right now I can't work, because remember, we're a back to work program. So we would just have you apply in the future, again, when you have decided that you can go back to work. Work with veterans to identify track, establish vocational or independent living goal. Independent living is usually somebody who cannot leave their home due to their service-connected disabilities. And we provide, that's a whole another aspect of what we provide. Someone can come into your house and evaluate it to determine, what types of equipment you might need, things like that. Define services needed, develop written plan of services. That, of course, something you'll do with your counselor. The reemployment, rapid access to employment is probably our fastest one. So if you were working somewhere before you got into the military, you went into the military, this was mostly used for people who were drafted. But if you went into the military and then when you got out, you want to go back to that employment, we can help you with that. The reemployment is actually fast. It's 2 months, I think, of limited services. We can help you with writing your resume. We have the DVOP, which is the person who works for the EDD. They can help you. And also we have 2 employment coordinators that can also help you for that one. Self-employment really is for people who cannot have any other form of employment, and that's like most severe. Self-employment or employment, we will shuffle you to two places. One, boots on the ground, and the other one, I believe, is small business. So you want to take a look at those two if you're thinking about self-employment. Employment through long-term services is usually the most common one. However, remember that it's not just education here, it's employment. What can we do to get you working? And we like to look at more stable employment. So people who come and say they want to be a real estate agent or something else that doesn't have, a steady paycheck. That's what we're looking for you. Yeah, that's kind of the way we're going to go. Independent living is something that we help you in your home so that you're comfortable. Usually that's somebody who has a severe disability. Ongoing case management, 18 months. So after you're done with your program, we watch you for another 18 months to see how it's going. Usually people report that, the job's doing really well, or, like during COVID, we had a lot of people that had lost their jobs. And so we were able to, again, supply them with with the employment coordinators and the EDD, someone who can help you with interview skills, job placement, things like that. Held suitable employment or improved ability to live independently. Those are our two goals. Next screen. So the 5 tracks for employment: reemployment, return to work previously held, rapid access to employment, obtain employment quickly as possible. That's where we give you the unemployment, and our coordinators, we have 2 of them, and then they inundate you with employment. I understand right now it's kind of, people want to do a lot more of the remote working, but that's not always a given. So it's kind of, hard to find those jobs, even though they do exist. Employment through long-term services, the majority of our veterans pursue. It's, whatever you need. If you come to us and you need a certificate, I know that a lot of people who do computer science, sometimes need just a certificate in order to get hired somewhere. We can provide you with that. Again, if you, it's really about getting you back to work. Independent living services, again, is for veterans who cannot pursue vocational goals, but need assistance with daily living and independence. Self-employment claimants who have the necessary job skills to start a business, and for those who have limited access to traditional employment, require more accommodating work environment due to the effects of the disability, or the most difficult track for veterans. So with self-employment, you just want to remember that there are places you can go. The EDD is one place, the Better Business Bureau, or the Better Small Business. That's one place you can go, and Boots on the Ground, I understand, is another one. Next slide. So VR&E benefits in the GI Bill. Is the VR&E program the same? No, it's not. No, no. We're going to follow you. So we have requirements of, like, you have to keep at least a 2.0. And there's, every semester you have to turn in a transcript. We want to know, if you're making changes. We want to know if you're going away. We're kind of in your business that way. So no, they're not the same. The purpose of the VR&E program is to help veterans with service-connected disabilities and barriers to employment to become suitably employed. For the 5-track VR&E services are geared specifically towards employment. And the E in VR stands for the program's mission to assist veterans and service members obtaining suitable employment. That's the whole purpose of veteran readiness and employment. Next slide. VR&E employment focused VR&E program provides employment services in the 4 of the 5 rehabilitation tracks. Personalized employment services may include work readiness preparation. We do that towards the end, but you can do it while you're following your plan. Resume development and job seeking skills, employment resources development, job accommodations, job placement assistance, post-employment follow-up, evaluation of your abilities, aptitudes, and interests. We have you fill out what's called the career scope. because we want to know what you're interested in, what your aptitudes are, and what your abilities are. Career counseling and rehabilitation planning. So that's what we help you with. Next slide. Other employment services may include referrals to other employment services, the Veteran Employment Center, online tools that connects veterans and employers, access through the www.va.gov. I suggest, it used to be e-benefits, but we're all going to the va.gov now. The Department of Labor, Employment Assistance, Disabled Veterans Outreach Programs, the DVOP, that's the one at the EDD, and local veterans employment representatives, the lever. Next slide. So how VR&E assist eligible dependents? Remember, you need the 10% to be able to apply. Chapter 18 benefits are VR&E provides services to eligible dependents born with spina bifida and other congenital disabilities with the goal of suitable employment. VR&E provides training and other rehabilitative services. Chapter 35 benefits are for dependents, educational assistance, educational benefit provided to eligible dependents of veterans who have either died, been involuntarily detained, or determined to have a permanent and total service-connected disability. So your parents had to be 100% in order for you to get Chapter 35. I will give Jenna a phone number that we can put up. It is the phone number for education benefits. That's one you want to check with because they'll know everything. Jenna, if you could take this phone number down and put it in the chat, it's 1-888-442-4551. And I'll make sure that you guys get that before the end of the day, before the end of this, if not. Okay, thank you. That is for education. They handle all the other stuff. They handle all of Chapter 33. They handle all of, if you're 1606, which was the Montgomery GI Bill, and they handle all of Chapter 35. Next slide. All right, Chapter 36, educational career. That's for when you're getting out of the military, and it's usually 6 months before or 6 months after. Chapter 36 is educational and career vocational counseling services. So that's what we provide. That's what I provide. The VSOCs provides that. At whatever campus you're going to, there should be a VSOC around that can help you with that. Vet Success on Campus, that's me. VR&E assisting service members, student veterans, and eligible dependents. The IDES, we have one available at Travis Air Force Base, and her name is Jane. So if you were getting out, you would have been connected with Jane. Okay, next slide. How VR&E assists service members, veterans, and eligible dependents. Educational and career vocational counseling services, a great opportunity for veterans and service members to get personalized counseling and support to help guide their career paths, ensure most effective use of their VA benefits, and achieve their goals. Who may apply? Transitioning service members who are within 6 months prior to discharge from active duty, veteran within 1 year following discharge from active duty, any service member veteran currently eligible for VA education benefit, and all current VA education beneficiaries. Next slide. That's Chapter 36. Sorry. Applying for services. So online, the www.va.gov, Veteran Readiness Employment Orientation. Or you can mail or deliver your application in the snail mail at 56 regional offices around the world. So ours is Veteran Readiness and Employment Intake Center, which is in Janesville, Wisconsin. Next slide. That's me, April Paganelli. I'm the vocational rehabilitation counselor. I'm also the VSOC on campus. Again, I'm located at American River. So if you need anything, just hit me up there. Thanks. I'm glad everybody could come today.
All right. Thank you, April. And I do apologize for Ashley. I have no idea where that came from.
No, it's fine. It's a beautiful name. I'll take it.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you for that. So now, as I mentioned earlier, my name is Michael Cisneros. I'm a training coordinator. I'm just going to finish this off with just a quick overview of what CalTAP's all about and talk a little bit about those general benefits that are available to you because of your veteran status. And then we'll go into questions and answers with my colleague, Jana. She'll take over from there. One of the things I did want to mention before we move forward is that this webinar is being recorded, and we are going to post it on our website. So, within the next week or two, you'll be able to find this PowerPoint along with the recording on our archives page. So feel free to download the PowerPoint and use those contacts as resources and the information as resources that you can keep with you. So what is CalTAP? Well, CalTAP is a transition assistance program that is designed to inform and connect veterans of all eras to their earned state and federal benefits, as well as provide continuous assistance and support as their needs change over time. And so what we've done in CalTAP is we've developed different pathways that help veterans navigate those programs and services and benefits that are available to them. We've developed pathways that focus on entrepreneurship, employment, education, and then there's the general core curriculum pathway, which focuses on benefits and services that don't necessarily fall into those topics I just mentioned. We do have a service provider pathway that we don't really talk about much, but if you do have anybody in your community or family members that do want to work with veterans, feel free to send them to our website, calvet.ca.gov, and they could check out some of the curriculum underneath that service provider pathway. Just gives information about veteran culture, how to actually work with this population, which has unique experiences. This is the Veterans Resource Book. So this is I like to say this is like gold for veterans. So everything that we discuss when it comes to programs and services that are available to those veterans through the state can be found in this book. They'll talk about eligibility requirements. They'll give you details on the programs. Any forms that need to be submitted, they'll let you know what forms need to be submitted and where to submit them. So you'll find a lot of detail in this book. I do believe Jana has put a link for a PDF copy in the chat. And you should have also received a confirmation email along with reminder emails letting you know about this webinar. And in those emails, there were links for this book as well. If you prefer a hard copy, you can always go to your county veteran service office and pick one up there. Or you can go to our website and there's a way to order in bulk, or if you need a couple, we can do that as well. This is what our website looks like, calvet.ca.gov. When you're on this website, if you look in the middle at that CalTAP banner, you could click there and that will take you to our pathways page. You click on any one of these pathways, they'll take you to a modules page, which kind of separates the information into more easily digestible curriculum. So for this example, we'll go ahead and click on core curriculum pathway. This is what the module page looks like. So you'll find information about the VA healthcare system if you're looking for that. Claims and compensation is always a popular one. There's a module down there about financial literacy if that's what you need to read up on. But if you are just curious about your California benefits, you can always click on module number 5. So what are those California benefits? Well, the major ones that are coming from Calvet are the college tuition fee waiver, which is for your child dependents. There's also a veterans designation. There's also a veterans designation that you can put on your driver's license. So now you don't actually have to carry around a DD Form 214 in your back pocket anymore. That's going to let anybody know that you are a veteran. It's an official document. It's good to go. It used to be a $5 fee going to the DMV, but as of January 1st of this year, there's no longer a fee attached to that benefit. And when you have to update to that real ID, or when you're in the process of getting a new ID, you can always just let them know that you're a veteran and they'll put it on your card. And then motor vehicle registration fee waiver for our veterans who have 100% disability rating and that disability affects your mobility. You may be eligible for that benefit as well. Talk a little bit about the college tuition fee waiver just real quick. There are 4 different plans, Plan A, B, C, and D. We do find that more veterans fall into Plan B, and that's because it looks at the veteran's disability rating, which is anywhere between 0 and 100, and they'll look at the child dependent's income level. So if the child and the veteran meet those standards, then that child could go to any state-funded school for free. So any UC, CSU, or California Community College. If you do have a spouse that wants to utilize this benefit, there may be a way. You just have to see if you're eligible for plan A, C, or D. If you are, then you can actually use this benefit for your spouse as well. If you have any questions about either one of those benefits, we definitely recommend reaching out to your county veteran service office, and they can let you know more about the eligibility requirements and get those processes started if that's what you want to do. These are other perks of being a veteran here in California. So for those of you that like to be outdoors, there's a reduced fishing and hunting license available to those veterans that have an honorable discharge. You're also eligible to have the state park pass that's offered at no cost. For our disabled veterans, there are programs out there that exempt you from paying property taxes. And then if you are an entrepreneur and you want to open up your own business, you may be eligible for tax and fee exemptions and programs that help you out with business licenses. This all can be found in your California Veterans Resource Book, or by talking with a county veteran service office. One thing I do want to mention about those business licenses and tax exemptions, or especially the property exemptions, that's what I mean. They do differ across the state. So if you are interested in property tax exemptions, we do recommend you reaching out to your local county tax assessor, and they can talk to you more about eligibility requirements for that program. County Veteran Service Offices are also a good way to start too. So CalVet has certain divisions that kind of help us focus our attention on, the different aspects of veterans here in California. Veteran Service Division is what CalTAP falls under. We have also a home loans program that's different than the federal VA home loans program, and a division that assists with questions about that program. We usually have a representative from the home loans program present with us on, our longer webinars. Of course, he's not here today, but we could probably get Janet to put his contact information into the chat. For those of you that are in the market right now, you may want to give him a call. He loves taking cold calls. He's a very, very helpful representative, and knows about programs also outside of the State Department that could possibly help you out. We also have programs that offer information advocacy, outreach and support to our women veterans and minority and underrepresented veterans. If you go to their websites, or if you go to our website and you go to their web page, there are rosters that you can actually sign up under, so that you can continue getting correspondence from these divisions. So you can be aware of what kind of outreach opportunities are coming up, what are they focusing on, what kind of projects are they working with, or who are they working with. All that can be found there on our website. And then for these two last ones, probably not thinking about them right now, but if you have, family members or anybody within your community that are veterans and need services that are offered through our homes for long-term care, or are preparing, their end of life, there are state cemeteries that are different than the federal VA cemeteries. Right now, there are 3 different cemeteries in California, and a 4th one is in the works right now. That's going to be a Southern California cemetery. I believe it's going to be in Orange County. I'm not sure how far along they are in that process, but just be aware right now we do have 3 different CalVet state cemeteries that are different than the federal VA cemeteries, and a 4th one in the work. We have 8 different homes for long-term care. These homes are everywhere from Reading up north to Chula Vista down south. Each home offers different kinds of services. So if you're looking for memory care or assisted living, that's going to determine what house you want to go into, or that veteran would want to go into. So you can find all this information on our website, though, calvet.ca.gov. Underneath programs, you'll be able to find a list of the different divisions and programs that are fall underneath the Calvet division or umbrella. All right. So if you would like to hear more about what's going on with the division, you want to stay in touch with what kind of webinars or live events CalTAP's going to be putting on, you can always provide your non-DoD email to the CalTAP inbox. What that will do is it will put you on a mailing list so that you can receive our newsletter on a monthly basis. You can also go to My Calvet on our homepage and set up a profile. And what that does is it kind of just tailors the information on our website more to what you're looking for and what your needs are at the time. Follow our social media pages. That also tells a little bit about what we've been doing, how our programs are doing, what kind of work we're getting ourselves into. Just kind of stay up to date with how everything's going. Attend our webinars. So if you go to our Eventbrite page, you'll find a list of all the webinars or live events that are going to be coming up for the next couple months. Some of them do take place on college campuses. For the most part, you don't have to be a student to attend those webinars or those live events. And if so, it will say in the description. But yeah, simply just go to our Eventbrite page, log in, and get the meeting details that way. And then finally, you can always fill out our survey. The survey is not required, it's not necessary, but it does help us make this program better. So by filling it out, you can let us know what we did well today, what we can work on in the future, and also just give us some ideas of what you'd want to hear about in the future. So topics that you'd like us to cover. This is what My Calvet looks like. So if you go to our webpage and in the corner of every screen, you'll find that login option or registration option. Logging in and registering, like I said, is just going to tailor the website more to what you're looking for at that time, your interests and needs. This is what our newsletter looks like. And so, like I mentioned, we send this out every month to our mailing through our mailing list. It's going to have a message from our deputy secretary first. And then we'll talk about the webinars that happen throughout that month. And then we'll also give a little detail about some of the service providers we're working with. Every month we try to focus on a different topic. This month we are focusing on mental health. And I believe next month is going to be employment, but maybe Janet could correct me if I'm wrong. But I do know this month we are focusing on mental health, and we do have a few workshops in the future for mental health. This is va.gov. va.gov is the website that you will be logging into for pretty much all your veteran needs. So whether you're trying to enroll in VA healthcare, file for claims and compensation, take advantage of your education benefits, or just view your records, va.gov is where you'd want to go. I believe April mentioned this earlier, or maybe it was Kathleen. We used to go to e-benefits, but they phased out e-benefits, and for the most part, everything is being redirected to va.gov. That's where you want to start for this stuff. So local interagency network coordinator, which it's LINC. Sorry about that. So your link, there are 8 different links in California. This is another benefit you could consider that's offered through Calvet. And what they are they are regional representatives that are kind of like the liaison between Calvet and the federal VA and the veteran in their area. So depending on where you live or where you're going to relocate in the future is going to dictate which link you're going to reach out to. So for there in the Bay Area, Kevin Graves, which he may still be on, or he may have jumped off. I know that he was on earlier. Kevin Graves is going to be the Bay Area link. He's the one who's going to know about the different programs and service providers that are known locally, and can get you connected with those individuals. They also help out when natural disasters occur. So over the last couple of months, we've had a lot of flood damages and storms that have come and uprooted people's lives across the state. These links are the ones that are attending those disaster recovery centers and sitting there for 12 hours a day, waiting to help out veterans who have maybe lost their home in the storm or have considerable damage due to the rain. They know about those programs and services that can help those veterans get back on their feet. And then they also know about the programs and services that are offered through the state. So they're very knowledgeable. And as you can see, they're spread out throughout the state. So wherever you decide to go, feel free to take a picture of this map and reach out to those individuals. They are accepting cold calls. They know that, you guys may need their help at, a time when, it's most important to you, and they're there and they're ready. So yeah, take a picture, get familiar with Kevin Graves' name and his contact information, and please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. If you can't get a hold of anybody on our phone line through Calvet, you can always give these links a call or email them, and they have just as much knowledge to help out. So that's my contact information. If you have any questions about Calvet or any of the programs and services that I mentioned in this overview, feel free to reach out. I check my inbox daily, and if I don't have the answers for you, I can definitely connect you with somebody who would. That being said, we're going to go now into the questions and answers period. I do see we have a couple questions. I'm going to bring in Jana Adams. She's my colleague, another training coordinator with CalTAP, and she's going to help out with this part of the presentation. So go ahead, Jana.
Great. Thanks so much, Michael. And to answer your question from before, yes, this month we're focusing on mental health, and then next month, I think it's going to be discharge upgrades and legal services. I think if it comes to mind.
Right. Legal services.
Legal
That's right.
services.
Legal
Correct.
services. I was way off.
Yeah, no, you weren't way out. It's okay. We cover lots of topics. So anyways, we do have some questions. April, I'm going to probably need to bring you back on here. If you're still there, I believe you are. So, okay. So some of these questions popped. Oh, great. Some of these questions popped up as you were presenting. So the first one was, how is suitable employment determined?
Suitable employment is determined by your service-connected disabilities, right? So we don't want to encourage or over time in a position where those would be exacerbated. Suitable employment is also determined by, finding like stable employment with regular income. So.
Great, thank you. The next question is, are veterans eligible for employment services if they have a graduate degree in something that aggravates their disability?
Well, a graduate degree usually can get you at least employment services, whereas we say that because you have a graduate degree, you probably don't require much more education. And bringing you in, we would first determine, how you could find another job doing something that doesn't exacerbate your service-connected disabilities.
Great. Can you give us information on the process of getting partially used post 9/11 benefits reclassified as VR&E?
So that's an excellent question, Neil. How that works is when you come to us, if you have 1 day left, we can continue to pay you that higher rate. So Chapter 31 has its own rate. It was the same as what was before the 1606, which was the Montgomery GI Bill. So it's somewhere around $730 a month. If you come to us and you have Chapter 33, so we used to be able to take from it. We can't take from it anymore. As of April 2021, I believe they stopped that. So it's really kind of about more how many months do you need for us to get you to employment? And that's kind of usually where we start at. So if you come with us, it's not that it gets reclassified, it's that we bring you in and then you use it that way, but you still get to keep the 33. We don't take that anymore, but we used to.
Okay. Can I use vet tech benefits after using VR&E?
I'm not sure what vet tech benefits are, but I'm going to kind of answer this question this way. If you're talking about chapter 33, yes, you can use those after. You can use those after us or before or whatever. As long as you have 1 day left, we can still pay you that higher rate. And really that matters because we've had several come through that didn't have any time left. In fact, I found one person who had used extra months. And so we can't get a day back. So that particular veteran would have been getting the $733 a month instead of that higher BHA rate from chapter 33. But I'm not really sure, Neil, if you want to tell me what vet tech benefits are, but I think you might be saying, can I use 33 after? And the answer to that is yes. So.
Okay. If a veteran owns a small but profitable business, would it be beneficial to pursue a self-employment / entrepreneur track pathway?
They already have a business. No, because we're just gonna, the assumption is that we're gonna provide you money. We don't provide you money at all. We just introduce you to a small business and boots on the ground, and you work with them, and then we kind of counsel you that way. But there isn't any money offered in that track, just so you know.
And additionally, just on that, we have a whole slew of resources for kind of starting your own business, but there may be some resources on our, if you go to the Calvet website and then go to the CalTAP webpage, it's under the laptop, and then go into our 5 pathways. That's where it leads you to. There's an entrepreneurship pathway, excuse me, and that's going to have a whole slew of information. And there might be some info that might help you, or resources that might help you further your business. And you can always contact us and we can answer any questions if you want to go on that track or learn more information on that. Going to the next question though, says VR&E will pay for the full cost of my college undergraduate degree.
So again, I can't be specific because I don't know your situation. I'm just going to say that you would need to apply. If you have the 10% service connected disability or more rating, then I would encourage you to apply, and a counselor will be able to go over that. There's just too many variables to each person, right? It's not just you check off these boxes and it's all good. So it's better to have a counselor take a look at that because they can answer those questions better than I can.
Yeah. Do you have to use your GI Bill benefits before taking advantage of VR&E?
No, you don't.
Yeah,
Nope.
I didn't think so either. It's a good question.
Yeah, it is. You can absolutely apply whenever you're ready or whenever you're given the, I probably didn't explain it very well, but I don't, so as you're getting out, if you get out with a service connected disability, then you're automatically shown how to apply for us. And you would be going from an active military person to now working with VR&E. But most of the time we see veterans. So after you get out, you're like, I really did have a problem with my back when I was in. So now you've applied for the compensation, comp and pen, you filed a claim and everything. And sometimes people don't understand that that's where usually we get, they tell you, or sometimes it happens that they tell you, oh, by the way, you can also apply for VR&E. So that's usually what happens. And you do not have to use the GI Bill first. You can save that and use it after if you like. It's entirely up to you.
Great. The next question is for CalTAP to offer one or more counseling services in person. Yeah, and we can, we can talk to you with whatever you need. If you look at the back of your veterans resource book or the last page of the PDF, there's an 800 number on the back of it. I'm putting it in the chat right now. Call that and we can talk to you. We can answer any of the questions that you have, and whether that leads to us, meeting or, whatever we need to do to get you resources, we're more than happy to talk to you. So give us a call, or you can always email too at the CalTAP at calvet.ca.gov, and I'll put that in the chat in just a second, one more time.
Yeah, I want to
Go ahead. Yeah.
And another, if you are looking to set up meetings with, any one of us here in CalTAP or Calvet, you may want to also consider looking at your County Veteran Service Office. There's always so much that we here at CalTAP can do, but the County Veteran Service Office are the ones that can take you all the way to the finish line. So definitely consider reaching out to us, and we're always here to have those meetings, but definitely look into the County Veteran Service Office to speak with those veteran service representatives.
Yeah, it makes a really great point, Michael. And once April's answering the next question, I'll put in the chat the ways that you can find your County Veteran Service Office, or you can call us at that 800 number and we'll find your County Veteran Service Office or CVSO or just VSO for you. We're more than happy to search for you. So next question is, I've been waiting for my decision on my appeal for VR&E for over a year. Who can I call in the Los Angeles region to get in contact with?
Ariel, I hope you're still on the line. If you could send me an email, I can get you that phone number. It's buried somewhere on my desktop. But I will be more than happy to provide that for you.
Thank you so much for providing that. Okay, Vet Tech. Oh, this is going to answer a question. Vet Tech is a relatively new program funded by VA for incentivizing veterans to go into technical programs by funding the cost of going to a coding boot camp instead of a traditional education institution.
Oh, so let's see, what was this question before? It was something.
It was, okay, can I use Vet Tech benefits after using VR&E?
I don't see why not. I don't see what would hold up that.
Yeah.
I don't see why not, unless it states in the Vet Tech that you can't. But I haven't heard that.
Good. I had on my list to look up what Vet Tech was. So now, I want to look it up further, but thank you for putting that in, Neil. Appreciate it. Okay. Looks like one more question so far right now. Is there a limit to how many times you can apply for VR&E? That's a good question.
Nope. That's the fantastic part. You can apply for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You can get denied, you can appeal, you can apply. I encourage people to apply.
Yeah. Does the non-paid work experience fall under Chapter 31?
Yes, we can do that. Yeah. Usually there's a little bit of paperwork for your counselor to do, but so if you're with us and you want to do a non-paid work experience, you can do that. Yeah, it's something for your counselor to do. So you would talk to them about it, because there's a little bit of paperwork for us to, sign off on, and then you get paid through us. So yeah, it's an interesting thing, but I encourage everyone to do any sort of work experience. It's a good way to go. I think that money is not taxed, so it's something you get to keep without having to pay taxes on it. So and also, one of the things is if you needed the money, like to stay in school, that's one way, but another is to just get experience working somewhere. And I encourage that for everyone. Always get the internship, the non-paid work experience, just get experience, because it really pays off in the end when you have to put that on a resume. It's always nice to it's always like who you know, not really what you know necessarily. So yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for answering these questions. You're just a wealth of knowledge, April. We so appreciate it. I think that's it for right now, but you guys, if you have any other questions, I'm still going to be looking. Oh wait, actually, no, there is one more. Sorry. Okay. It is, so can veterans technically use both GI Bill 36 months and the VR&E benefits up to the 48 months for, it would be up to a total of 48 months, correct? Not a total of 48 months of educational benefits, correct?
Right. So we see what happened there. And what it is it's not how many months you're going to get in our case. It's more how much do you need for us to get you to employment, and employment that does not exacerbate your service-connected disabilities. So when you start thinking, hey, with 84 months, isn't that a doctorate? Well, no. What it is we try to take what education you already have, or if you have none, then we try to get you to that associate's degree with certificates, or say a bachelor's degree. And you'll notice that some people do come out with a little bit higher education, but I tell you that everyone's situation is different. And we take everyone on the basis of a human being, like 3D, not just, everyone gets this. That's not how we do it, because it can't be one size fits all. It's never going to be one size fits all. And we don't want it to be that way, because we have some who have more needs than others. And if you saw what I saw, you'd be like, oh, okay, now I get it. But yeah, no, so you could, but the probability of that happening is very slim. What we really try to concentrate on is getting you the education that you need to get employment. So there you go. All
Yes,
right.
I mean, really, if you guys take anything from this, I mean, really, like, every situation is different. So if you guys have even more specific questions on your own personal situation, the best idea would be to reach out directly to, April, or reach out to your CBSO, or even to us. That way we can, at least if we can't answer your question, we'll point you in the right direction. But I don't see any more questions. So again, April, thank you so much for
Thank you
answering
so
all
much
these
for having me. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I had
Thank
one
you.
quick question that I get
Yeah.
often. If maybe April, you could help with this. If occasionally I have veterans who have a hard time reaching their counselors, like they have something that they want to review and they are not quite able to reach them. What's the best advice for how to kind of get in touch with your counselor if you're having trouble with that?
That's one way of going about it, is to reach out to me, the VSOC at American River College. You guys have my phone number and my email. So if you need to, at any of the Northern California, if you're in Southern California or you need help down there, there's a couple of other VSOCs I can give you some information for. Let me think. So I don't specifically know the guy who works in Los Angeles. I've been here less than a year, so let me get that information, and then I can give it to Jana, and Jana can pass that out, hopefully. Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have that. That's a fantastic question, because that does happen. And so you can also, your RO, whether it's Northern California or Southern California, they should have a general phone number. And I'll be able to get that phone number to Jana, that you can call and say, my counselor is not responding to me. We do get this a lot, because again, we're in the process of hiring. We've had a lot of people leave, a lot of people come on. And so we're kind of trying to get to our perspective 125 per counselor. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen a lot right now, have almost 200. So we're really working at it. We're trying to get people, up to snuff, bring everyone on. So I apologize if that does happen, but there is ways to get around it. So one of the ways to get around it is to contact the VSOC at any college if you have one there. I am the one in Northern California. And then for Southern California, if you have or you need, you can find a VSOC down there. They are actually listed. So you can just type in Veteran Success on Campus, and they are listed by region. And then there's also a phone number, and I will get you those phone numbers as soon as I can. And again, that's a really excellent question. Thank you.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks, Kathleen. And
Thank you so much.
all right. Well, I'm going to turn things back over to you, Michael. And then if any other questions arise, I'll go ahead and interrupt you.
Yeah. All right. Well, it looks like we actually made it down to the very last minute, so that's really cool. Happy when that happens. So move on to the next page. Just a quick little observation of the next upcoming workshops that we'll have. As I mentioned earlier, we are focusing on mental health this month, and so you see on 3:30 we will have a mental health webinar along with 323. So please Feel free to check out our Eventbrite page to register and get those meeting details. Again, our survey, it's not necessary to fill out, but if you do want to take the time to let us know how we did today, we would appreciate it. All it does is just help us improve this program and make sure that we are covering the things that you want to hear and that are most relevant. Again, if there are no questions, we will go ahead and conclude. If you do have any questions that arise after everything's all said and done, feel free to email that CalTAP inbox, or you can give us a call at that 1-800 number. Someone like me, Jana, or Kevin might answer, and we can definitely help you out. Thank you again for being here, and we hope to see you guys at the next one.